Ayers, of course, is a 60s domestic terrorist who says he has no regrets about bombings at the Capitol and the Pentagon. He and Obama served together on education reform boards in Chicago, and of course Barack Obama kicked off his Illinois Senate career at William Ayers' house. Well, now more than 3,000 college professors, coast to coast, at least most of them are college professors, have signed a petition in support of William Ayers. One of them, former University of Colorado professor Ward Churchill. Remember him? He's the guy who compared 9/11 victims to Nazis, calling them little Eichmanns who deserve to die. Well, he's throwing his support behind William Ayers, probably support William Ayers doesn't need. Alan Singer is a professor at Hofstra University in New York. He also signed the petition, and we asked him to join us to tell us why. And he joins us now by phone. Alan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Megan. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. You know, I read this petition, and it talks about character assassination and slander of Bill Ayers. You know, I think a lot of people in this country don't think it is a character assassination to call him a domestic terrorist. Why do you take issue with that?
Let me say this. I've been interviewed now on Fox 3 times on this question. And I got to tell you, it looks to me like a lame attempt to smear Senator Obama. Senator Obama has made it clear he has had no relationship with Bill Ayers. And you guys keep talking about it as if he does. And I keep waiting, where's the evidence? The other thing that disturbs me is since I've been interviewed on Fox, I've got over 30 hate emails and phone messages. I got a death threat, which also was threatening Senator Obama. I sent to the Secret Service. I just don't get why you're doing this. Well, Rupert Murdoch said he was disgusted with what you were doing.
Let me just, that's not true. Let me just weigh in. No one should be threatening you or anybody else for expressing their views. That's not how we should operate in this country. So that's certainly not something we want to happen. But let me press you on this, because you claim that there was no relationship between Barack Obama and William Ayers, and you're just dead wrong about that, Alan. I'm sorry, but that's just not the case. Barack Obama did kick off his Illinois Senate career in the living room of William Ayers. He did serve on at least 2 boards with William Ayers. He was associated with him long after William Ayers had made very public he was unrepentant for the bombings he did of the U.S. Capitol and the Pentagon. And you can argue about whether that's significant or it's not. You can argue about whether Barack Obama shares these radical views or he doesn't. I think most people believe he doesn't. But to say there was no relationship is not right. It is not sincere.
Bill Ayers is a very prominent educator in the United States. Whatever he did 40 years ago, and I have to tell you, I did not agree with what they did 40 years ago. Whatever they did 40 years ago, for the last 20 years that I have worked with the man, he is a leading educator and proponent for urban and minority educational reform. In Chicago, the city of Chicago gave him the Citizen of the Year Award in 1997 for its efforts on education. Bill Ayers, Obama, their paths crossed on a foundation grant from the Annenberg Foundation, which is a leading conservative educational foundation with close ties to the Republican Party.
Okay, so but even you now are acknowledging that there are ties between them, and the extent of that is for the viewers to decide. What you're on to talk about today. Let me finish my question, Alan, and then you can go. Okay. What we're having you on today to discuss is this petition. This is not a segment about the Ayers-Obama connection. This is a segment about the petition you signed supporting William Ayers and attacking those people who have called him an unrepentant terrorist. Now, let me tell you. Let me finish the question, Alan. Okay. Let me tell you, the reason folks in the media and elsewhere think that Bill Ayers is an unrepentant terrorist is because of comments like this one as recently as 2002. You can listen to it for yourself. Hold, and then I'll get you to respond.
Okay.
Is one of those regrets that I took extreme measures against the United States at a time of tremendous crisis? No, it is not. I don't regret that.
Alan, what is wrong about calling him an unrepentant terrorist?
One, terrorists attack civilian populations. The Weather Underground never attacked civilians. Whether you agree with them or disagree with them, you can accuse them for what they did, but not for what they didn't.
A pipe bomb in San Francisco killed a police officer, hurt another. A 1970 explosion in Greenwich Village basement that killed 3 radicals in addition to bombing the Capitol and the Pentagon.
You said that they killed themselves in that bombing.
So you excuse the acts. Now you want to go back to actually excusing the acts that William Ayers did?
No, I just said I don't excuse those acts, but they were not terrorist acts aimed at civilian populations. And what you've done is you've taken the fear of people since 9/11 and you've put it on Bill Ayers.
I see. So it's Fox News' fault. It's the media's fault. It's not William Ayers' fault, who said, and I quote, "Guilty as sin, free as a bird, this is a great country. I don't regret setting bombs. I don't feel we did enough." Who said in 2001, the notion of the United States as a just and fair and decent place makes me want to puke. That's the guy you decide to sign a petition to come out and support and say that he is having his character assassinated, Alan?
I defended a leading proponent of educational reform in urban minority communities. I defended a man who, for the last 20 years, has been a leader of the American Educational Research Association, and I don't want proponents of educational reform to be silenced, because people are afraid, because when they speak up for things, they get hate email from listeners.
No one has tried. No one here is attacking him in his role as a professor today. We have looked at his relationship with Barack Obama to the extent Barack Obama has claimed it doesn't exist, and we've looked at what Bill Ayers did and what he says he doesn't regret. Your petition, signed by 3,200 people, says that it is true Professor Ayers participated passionately in the civil rights and anti-war movement of the 1960s, as did hundreds of thousands of Americans. Alan, is that not, are you not a master of understatement? He participated in the civil rights and anti-war movement. A lot of people did that, and they didn't hurt others. They didn't take acts that resulted in people dying. They didn't bomb the Pentagon. They didn't bomb the Capitol. How on earth do you sign a petition supporting a man who did all of that?
No. We signed a petition because we do not want opposition voices silenced. I don't want opposition voices silenced.
No one's trying to silence William Ayers.
The people who sent me those emails, those are the people who are the terrorists. Bill Ayers is not threatening anybody today. Bill Ayers is fighting for educational reform, and I don't want to see him silenced.
Now, Bill Ayers is sitting there saying, guilty as sin, free as a bird. This is a great country. A country, incidentally, that makes him want to puke. That's how Bill Ayers feels about the United States. Alan, we appreciate you coming on. I don't want you to get hate emails. It's not appropriate. Professor Singer has the right to express his opinion, and we appreciate you coming on and doing it here in America's Newsroom.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.